My name is Brett Wright. I am joining y'all from Wichita, Kansas, along with Kale. My role at Next is outside sales. So I work with a team of independent reps like Jay, Kendall Newbern, who actually lives in St. Louis but spends winters in Florida, which is terrific for this launch. And then Kale, who really is in charge of something that we put a lot of pride and effort and attention on, which is customer service for the sign shops that sell our product and for the end users that end up buying it. So Kale is primarily an inside, rep, but also, customer service magician extraordinaire. So that's sort of the way our team approaches sales. We are tremendously excited to be partnering with Tube Light Denko to launch STAX. We've been in some conversations, over the last 6 months or so, and really excited to get some product in your facilities and help give you guys an opportunity to have another product to offer your customers. So primary reason for the call today, I know that I've already booked, I think with your group, 3 different training sessions, today being the first, and then a few weeks from now. Today I mostly want to introduce Next LED, or Next, as we're actually in kind of a process of relaunching the brand as we go into ISA in the spring and expand nationally. So I sent you all a PDF just a few minutes before I came in here. It's nothing that I'm going to go through point by point, but just wanted you to be able to kind of scroll through it, read in a nutshell who we are. But in a nutshell, who we are from my mouth. We started this company about 11 years ago in Wichita. We existed for a long time as a traditional EMC, or electronic message center, LED sign manufacturer, primarily focused on the Midwest. So most of our success was in Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Texas, and up into Illinois and Wisconsin a little bit. Like I said, we put a lot of focus on customer service. So we kind of grew market by market over the last decade. We mostly made a traditional product, which I'm going to show you a little bit of, and then we're not going to talk about it a lot because this is a product that is our legacy product. But I want you to understand, for those of you, I'm not sure where everybody is on the understanding of the LED sign market. But for the longest time in Wichita, we made a traditional product, which we still make, and it's called Onyx. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quickly. And I'm just going to share a few pictures. So our traditional Onyx product is a custom made to order sign, very much like most of your customers might sell Daktronics or Watchfire or Optech. A customer calls, orders a sign built on a platform of about 1 foot square modules. From there, we build a full aluminum cabinet and wire the signs together using more of a traditional system of power supplies, receiving cards, ribbon cable connections, and ultimately, generating a complete front service sign, very similar like some of those competitors. Now, the reason I wanted to show this to you is because, this sign takes 6 to 8 weeks, just like it would from Optech or Watchfire, for us to build. When a sign shop orders it, we sell it directly to them. And you can see here some of the technology that we've been using in this Onyx product. We put a lot of that engineering into our STAX product. So you can see all these modules are sealed, all these ribbon cables are automotive grade. But like I mentioned, in this more traditional sign, and in this, I want to show this because you'll see some of the benefits of STAX. Each of these modules comes back to a variety of control boxes that are placed throughout the sign. And this is all the custom build that happens in Wichita before it's palleted up and shipped to a sign company. And so when a sign company gets a completed unit, an Onyx unit, it shows up on a 1,000+ pound pallet, ready for them to install with angle iron. Again, 6 to 8 week lead time. And that's in a nutshell, the Onyx product line. We still manufacture this product mostly for much bigger size units. And the fact that we are having so much success with STAX suggests that this product may or may not be around forever. But this is our roots. And, we've been making this product, supporting this product, and building our company on a really solid, 10 millimeter product. Next LED for forever has really focused on higher resolution. So when our competitors were selling 19 millimeter and 16 millimeter signs, we were always selling 16 millimeter or 10 millimeter signs. So resolution and value in that sign product for the end user and for the sign shop selling it has always been really important to us. I'll get into a little bit what comes with a STAX unit, but you know, a few years ago, we were starting to look at the EMC market, especially as it relates to commercial signs. That's always been our bread and butter: 3x6, 4x8, 5x10. You know, we do some different projects, billboards, scoreboards, but our bread and butter is these commercial signs: churches, banks, schools, restaurants, you name it. The kind of guys, the kind of customers that custom electric sign shops work with all the time. And so, you know, we're aware of a competitive modular product that hit the market probably 7 years ago. We were also very aware of some of the limitations in that product. So we started doing research to see if it was something we would want to bring to market, you know, a few years down the road, which is what we did about 2 years ago with STAX. So we launched this product. I am going to pretty much show you a demonstration of what STAX is, how it goes together, and how it works. You know, and from there, we're obviously going to get into more, you know, training and question and answer after, either today or in future sessions. But the nuts and the bolts of the system is awesome. And we are finding that sign shops are loving this new approach to EMCs. No longer do you have to wait for us or somebody else to build a sign and ship it to you on a pallet. This new concept allows distributors to stock, and our commitment to distribution is strong with this product. It really allows us to do what we do best and allows y'all to do what you do best. Manage relationships, get stuff off your shelf quickly. And all of a sudden, you know, a sign shop is looking at an EMC project, which might be a $30,000 project, and they can execute that from down payment to install in as little as a week sometimes. So it's really been a game changer for our industry. You know, typically these guys are outlaying tens of thousands of dollars in a down payment and then waiting 8 weeks for us to deliver the sign, then waiting to get it on their install schedule or doing the fab around it. The fact that we can stock this in your facilities makes it an absolute game changer, you know, for our industry. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how STAX works and what we're looking at with the product. So when you stock a STAX, it's really a system that's pretty simple. There are about 9 SKUs, only 6 of which you actually have to use, and a few are optional, you know, features of the product. But it's really comprised of these building blocks. So the primary building block is a STAX module. It's a completely enclosed. So the reason I showed you that Onyx product is because it showed you how every module was cabled back to a power supply. A STAX is a completely enclosed module system, really slimline. All the power supply, receiving, and distribution information is based in this box. It has 6 points of connection, which I'll show you in a second, but this is the building block of the STAX module. 9.5 millimeter, so it's high definition SMD technology. We can get into what that means later, but bottom line is this product on the street at a church or a restaurant or a dentist office is going to look terrific. It's going to be high definition, and it's going to be bright for the duration of the life of the sign. So with this module, you simply have to build a frame system to attach your modules. So our frames come in 2 sizes, 1 foot by 2 foot. So obviously that will accept 1 module. And then as you see here, we have a 2 foot by 4 foot frame. And so this frame system can work in combination. All a sign shop has to do when they order a sign from you is stack and assemble these frames vertically and horizontally with a bolt system that we provide. So it's this simple for a sign shop to construct a frame, and then from there you simply put your modules on with a little hex key. And there's plenty of videos we'll share and exist on our website, but simply 6 points of connection with this hex key, and you can build a sign of any size. We've got a great little video that's hyper speed on our website showing a gal putting together a 4x8 in 12 minutes. So while this does involve a little more labor on the sign shop's behalf. If you can't manage a a drill and a crescent wrench, I'd be shocked. So we've seen people install or build these things on their back deck. I have a very small sign shop. The guy built it on his back deck, installed it with a pickup truck. And so there's a lot of benefits that we'll get into as the education continues. But the gist of the system starts with a frame in the module. From there, it's simply you're connecting modules to modules using a ribbon cable. So on the back, everything we've done here is to make this product as easy as possible. And so our ribbon cables are color coded. The inputs on the back of the modules, you can't see them now, are color coded. So yellow goes to yellow, you connect it to the next module. We provide schematics every single time. In fact, before you even take the module out of the box, you're introduced to a very basic schematic on how to assemble this sign. So everything we've built, from education to packaging to support, is based on who we might possibly dream up as the lowest common denominator at any sign shop in America, and hope that they can figure this out. If not, they're always going to call us. But bottom line is we've put a lot of thought into how can a sign company be successful with this product. And so once you have a frame system and your modules attached, you're connecting them via daisy chain. The brains of the sign come in this control box. So this STAX control box houses the computer that runs the sign. It houses a cellular router. So in order for an EMC sign to be able to be changed, it needs to be online. Back in the day, we used to take two radios. We would have the sign installer fight with the IT guy at any given business on where to plug that radio on the building into their network. And then we'd put a radio on the sign, or a wireless device on the sign. They would talk to each other in theory, or they would talk to each other 85% of the time. Those became the biggest point of failure in our industry and in our products. So about 5 years ago, we went to Verizon cellular product. So in this control box, when a sign company powers it up, connects it to their first STAX module, that sign immediately comes online via Verizon signal that we pay for life. So it has eliminated service issues by a huge magnitude for our company. It has eliminated connection issues for sign owners, unbelievably over the past few years. So this control box is the other kind of key component. So you've got frames, modules, cables, and a controller. You've got a couple other small SKUs that you can learn a little bit more about, but bottom line is, one is your primary power that's going to get connected to the junction box at the sign, and the other is a boost cable. So when a sign gets big enough, we have a certain boost cable, and all of this is shown in any schematic that, at the 13th module, you would connect this boost cable, take it back to primary power. The reason we do that is because rather than running back to a central box like you saw on our Onyx product, each of these modules shares data and power information with the next guy in line. And so at number 13, we split it back to power. The data continues, and in that way, we're not asking each module to share a bigger load than it needs to, which improves the life of the sign. A couple other things. So when you connect your STAX control box, you're going to connect it to primary power and then connect it to your first module. You'll also have a light sensor that comes out of that. So the light sensor automatically reads ambient light temperatures on the sign installation. The installer is welcome to put it anywhere they want. Most will put it in a skin between the sign faces, and then it dims and brightens the sign as necessary based on daytime or even ambient light temperatures. And then you also have the cellular antenna. That cellular antenna can be tossed in the sign cabinet or basically put anywhere. Much like your cell phone, it's going to work inside of an aluminum sign cabinet. So in terms of connection, that's all you have to do. And from there, you've got a STAX system: frames, modules, cables, and controller. A couple of the optional pieces. We also give an option for backs. So every component in a STAX system is hardened, completely weatherproof, and does not need to be protected in any facet. we're going to go ahead and warranty these whether the sign is ventilated or not. So we do not require any ventilation. This back panel can go on the frames like so if the sign shop or the customer wants kind of a finished look. We don't see this very often. Maybe 5 to 8% of overall signs will use these back panels. So it's totally an optional SKU. If you're doing a double face sign, most are putting it on a pole, then skinning the sides, with some sheet metal like that between the two faces. In that case, I wouldn't recommend spending the money on these. The place your customer might want to use the back panel is if it was a wall mount and they wanted to, be extra sure that nothing got behind it. Or if it's a single face on a pole, a one-way street, that way the back of the LED, looks finished. So that's an option. And we have that for both frame sizes. And the other is this controller slide mount. So this controller box, we use in this box the same kind of control system that we use in our other product. Again, that's another reason I showed you the Onyx. We didn't invent this. We didn't try to make a super small box. Almost every sign we sell is at least 2 feet tall. And so this box generally sits somewhere in a sign cabinet between poles. This slide mount allows the box to simply slide out. Let me see the best angle here for service. So if the customer chooses to mount this on the frame, picture this sign being on a pole here, they can easily, if they do need to service this box, come out, pull the skin off the side if they have one, and then roll out the box to service it. So that's another optional SKU. So you have the back panels and the controller mount as options. Outside that, that's essentially what a STAX system is. There's a couple other things that we include just because we understand the sign industry. Every module comes with a steel plate. These are aluminum frames that are, dimensionally extruded. They're thick and rigid. I think you'll find that they're as structurally sound as anything a sign shop would build, in terms of a cabinet. But we also include a steel plate that can be, attached to the corners of any of these modules, and that allows them the flexibility to weld to it. You'll see when you get a frame in your hand and we get a demo down to your shop, you'll see that all of these frames have some bolt inputs. You can lag these directly into a wall. It really gives fabricators at any sign shop a lot of flexibility in terms of how they're going to build the stacks into a sign. They may just run angle across the top of it. They can bolt it in or they can weld it in. On top of every one of these frames is our alignment pins. These just help you simply align the frame when you're stacking them on top of each other. And then these are also able to be used as lifting pins when you're out in the field, and then you can remove them. So they're removable at the top. Let's see what I miss. I think that's it. I mean, that is the STAX system in a nutshell. In terms of using it, I am going to go ahead. I've got a video that's going to do a lot better and faster job explaining, how the control system works and our thought process behind supporting this product. So that's the physical hardware. Here's a look at how the software works, or a sneak peek of how the software works, and we can obviously get more into.
Hey, Brett, can I ask a quick question before you start that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I like that slide option, but if a customer didn't want, where do they typically mount that? Is it just mounted on the back of it?
Yeah, they generally would just lay it between the two sign faces. Or they would build their own mount somewhere in between those faces. I should have said that when this panel, with the module and the frame, this is 3 5/8 thick. So This is extremely slimline, where our other product, that Onyx sign, is almost 7 inches thick, and then it has a 3-inch angle on the back of that. This, before you add angle or anything, is 3 5/8. So it's really slimline. Most people, though, would just set this box inside a cabinet or build a little bracket for it if they wanted to fab it in-house.
Okay.
Brett, on that, you might mention that we've got screws that are, in the control box so that they don't pierce the box.
Yeah. So the control box comes with some brackets. I'm sorry, I probably should have pointed that out, but it's got alignment holes and brackets that are ready made to attach if you didn't want to use this slide mount. but the slide mount is built ready to anchor directly into the frame. So it's four screws and it's installed and ready to go. In terms of running the sign, I'm going to show a little video here that I cut some time back. We know that most small businesses are making a major investment in this technology to help their business. And it's not a matter of just buying a sign and putting it on the pole, it's how do they use it, which is why we offer dedicated human interaction in terms of training and support for a lifetime. So when one person leaves the company and a new person comes on to run their sign, they have resources and people to reach out to help them continue to maximize that investment. Every STAX system comes with a software platform for sign operation that is operated in the cloud. Users simply visit a URL from any device and have the ability to build their own content and schedule it as necessary. You can see here we're layering text and photos to create simple content and scheduling it in a way that makes sense for our display. For instance, this Euro 2 for $6 deal is scheduled at certain dates and certain times as necessary for our business operation. Another amazing thing about SM Infinity is that it allows you to network multiple displays, run the same content at certain stores and different content at others. When we talk about customer success at Next LED, it extends all the way down to the end user. Our end user customers make a major investment in LED technology to help their business or organization, which is why we have partnered with Project Content, the leading provider of digital sign content for outdoor displays. Project Content allows all of our users to download a multitude of templates as is for the life of their sign. But more than that, we give them a $600 credit to use a tool called Presto, which is a revolutionary in the digital sign industry, allowing an end user to take professionally made content and simply change the text or the message to match their needs. This allows any sign operator to quickly and easily access professional digital content without having a graphic design degree or a $10,000 software suite. Project Content and Presto can do things that no sign software can do. And it's important to Next LED that we help our end users make the most of their digital sign investment. All right, so there's kind of a 2-minute version of how the end user is going to end up using this product. So simply a website to log into from anywhere in the world. You can control your sign in a Popka from Zimbabwe if you're on vacation and you have an internet connection. And so one thing you're going to find out about us, we don't just talk the talk, we really walk the walk on customer support. We get it. We've been in the sign business prior to starting Next LED. We've been custom electric sign guys, and we've seen what these people invest in and how they want to make it successful. When an end user is successful, the sign company is successful, and we get repeat business. And so everything that we do, we put a lot of thought behind, not just the hardware, not just does our sign work in a fish tank, at a trade show. It's how is somebody going to use it? How is a sign company going to install it? How are they going to be supported? What really happens when a dentist invests 40 grand in a 5x10 double-sided sign with floridasigns.com, and the gal that was running it at the front desk leaves this company? Is somebody just going to point them to a YouTube library and say good luck, or are they going to point them to some resources and an actual human being that can help them? The piece about Project Content is something that nobody knows, they don't know yet. The dirty secret in our industry has been forever. All anybody wants to talk about is hardware, right? Our signs work underwater, our signs do all this, and ours do. But what happens when somebody buys the most expensive Daktronics sign on the planet or the most expensive Watchfire, and they're going and putting red text on an orange background because that's all a sign software allows you to do? Professional graphic designers are one thing. Most people that buy these commercial grade products for a small business or churches or schools don't have the resources or the talent or the time to change it like they thought they would when they signed that contract with a sign company. So we give them resources by way of project content, and then we support them by way of training for life, so that they're always going to get the most out of their investment. So we really try to bring a kind of a holistic approach to the product we sell. It's not just hardware, it's not just software, it's not just support, but we really focus on making sure all of those are top notch. The other thing about STAX, I probably should mention, the warranty, the product warranty on STAX is 5 years parts. There isn't a labor warranty there. We expect to launch by second quarter an optional labor warranty, so that'll give you something to put in front of your customers. But one of the cool things about a labor warranty or about labor with this product is it's repair by replacement. If you are a sign company, I showed you what the control box on our Onyx looks like. If a module on an Onyx sign goes bad, you have to pull multiple modules off and trace that cord back to a power supply somewhere in that. You're going to do a tiny screw that's about the size of a pinhead and take that out, reconnect it. It's just the nature of traditional built products, ours or anybody else's. In this case, if there's a module bad, that sign company is going to likely change one thing. They're going to come out here with the tool, pull off the module, the 6 screws, and put on a new one that we got to them either overnight or they got to you guys from you guys overnight. So it's going to be a ribbon cable or a module. So in terms of service, it's a quick and easy thing to budget for, and for the sign to get back up and running in no time. And so, the service issue the service benefit on these is huge. A lot of times you can do service from a ladder, if you're a smaller sign shop and you don't have bucket trucks for days, if the sign is low enough, you can change this from a ladder if you needed to. So there's a lot of benefits, from a service standpoint as well with this type of system. And, we're finding we're finding a lot of success with it. And we're finding that sign shops really love it as they start to open their mind to the new world of digital signage. It's not 10 years ago, man. Things have progressed so much. These components are so much better than they used to be. There's a lot of companies making good products, and I'll be the first to tell you that. But a system like this with a higher level of support, I think you're going to find that sign companies that are willing to try something new, they may be used to getting those pallets of big signs, but if they're willing to try something new for certain jobs or all jobs, they're going to be really happy with it and find a lot of opportunity. Any other questions on Next LED or STAX while we're here today? I don't need to keep you forever. We're going to dive into some other stuff the next couple times we talk, but wanted you to get a look at it and see if you have anything else.
Hi, Brett. This is Caesar. I had a
Hey,
question
Caesar.
on the finish. Is that a powder coat finish or a painted finish?
Powder coat.
Okay, excellent.
And let me see, let me pull this real quick.
Hey, also on the software,
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's password protected. In other words, at the end user level, so that they can limit who has access to change the graphics.
100%. Yep. So they can add any number of users, which is a great thing about it. So it's up to them to add a user. But so the principal at the school can have one, and so can the art teacher. They can also have permissions. So, I've had a couple of schools do this where they let the kids create the content in the software, but definitely not schedule it. So they can limit, kids at usd353.com can create, they just can't send it out to the sign.
Okay.
And back to the frame, I'll show you a little bit closer. We built a really rigid frame. There's another modular product, that Cirrus makes that's on the market. The frame they've used is brake metal, and it's more or less module holders. I mean, this thing is solid, heavy, and rigid as can be. I'll share some photos, but we've had installers build cabinets right onto the top of this, so that's all totally integrated, and they've essentially used this as a sign body in certain situations.
What's
See, you got any
what's the
other
weight of
question?
that?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, what's the weight of one of those modules?
The module weighs about 6 pounds and the frame about 3.
Okay, fairly lightweight then. What's
Yeah.
so outdoors, on a pole, raised and that sort of thing with wind. I mean, is there factors that they need to, secure it more, or is it going to be a problem?
No, if they use their standard sign engineering, and you're going to really believe this when either Jay shows you the product or we get you a demo down to that branch, you're going to see that there's no angle iron that they would have been building a sign out of that's any stronger than these frames. So they're incredibly resilient and rigid. So it's really standard engineering that they use for wind load. A 4x8 weighs about 250 pounds in a STAX system, where it's about almost 500 with a traditional message center. So they're light, they're flexible. There's a lot of creative things the fab departments can do with them, depending on their install, or they can just put it together and slap it on a pole.
And it opens up some other opportunities on the business side of things we found from experience. So let's say a sign shop's got a bucket truck, but they got a couple different crews. With STAX, if it's not too high, you can actually, we've had sign shops mount the frames up, and they can do all that because it reduces the weight, and then go up one at a time with the ladder and put in the modules. You don't need the big crane and everything to lift the whole thing up, which actually frees up crews to be a little more flexible in projects.
Well, that's a good point.
One thing too, Tracy, that's pretty cool about it is that no matter what size of the sign that you're getting, in your quote, it actually has all of your specific signs detail. So the weight, the power requirements, and all that stuff too. So it's kind of nice. I've had a few customers ask me, like, what's the total weight of my sign? And we can go directly to their quote, and we know exactly what the weight's going to be. So
Okay. Great, thank you.
What did I forget, Kendall?
I guess just a little bit, just from a standpoint of how things work. So, to back up Brett's part about how quickly companies can get this. And quite frankly, I'm going to be honest, we've been getting a lot of interest lately from sign shops that would never give us a shake, but because our major competitors, the big boys, are now 8, 12, sometimes 16 weeks out to deliver a sign, they're looking for other options. It's just too far out. So that's one thing to be looking at, is have that freight discussion, because we can get stuff with supply chain a lot quicker now. But yeah, that's the big thing. And then for the sign owner, I mean, we can go into a lot of these details later, but for the sign owner, we're trying to make it super easy as well. So they're going to get a training notice as soon as the sign shop makes that purchase, so they can be getting on board on the software that you guys just saw. And they can be doing that while, during install. They don't have to wait, so there's a lot of, and plus the other thing, to Brett's point, some people are do-it-yourselfers. So we do have YouTube videos. If you just want to watch it yourself, but we also do one-on-one Zoom training. So, and like Brett said, it's not just one time and that's it. It's as many times you want it. So you have some employee turnover, you can do it like that. So those are a couple things, but.
Yeah, I will say that in our future sessions, we'll dive into that software a little bit more. We're definitely going to kind of show you, how's the whole process work from your end. So, Bob's sign shop wants a quote on a 3x6. What do you do? Bob wants to buy one. What do you do? And how does he onboard his customer? So we'll show you all the elements that go into our customer service, bringing a sign online, showing you how a bill of materials is automatically generated, how fast you can generate your own quotes. One thing we really believe in is speed. I for one hate when I reach out to somebody and need a quote on anything. Let's just pretend it's a house I just remodeled. And all I want to know is how much a countertop costs, right? Well, I don't know why it takes 3 weeks for somebody to get back and say, this is what a countertop costs. So we do everything we can as fast as possible, because we think it's a competitive advantage for the sign shop out in the field, for us, for our partners like y'all. So we'll go into a lot of those things. And then, and the last kind of thing I'll talk about is, I really believe in this product, like evangelistic about marketing, right? And I'm a marketing person. Why LED signs work for end users and why they should look at, the right people should look at investing in it. And so I'll go into some of those sales techniques that hopefully we can get your sign companies, interested in and regurgitating to be successful. And then the last thing I'll say, and this doesn't have to wait, if you did have anybody interested that you were talking to, or you're having lunch with somebody and they're interested and you mentioned STAX, we are set up to do one-on-one sales calls with this product. One thing we've all learned throughout this, pandemic is how effective some of these video calls can be. Even if we're tired of them, they're still really effective. And it's like I said, the digital sign industry has changed so much in the last decade. I don't think everybody needs a giant truck showing up every single time they have a school board looking at a sign. All they need to do is see the system, and then we can turn one on and let them kind of take a test run from here.
Hey, Brett,
Yeah.
one thing I will say, that I'm down here in Florida, and I'm willing to go out with you guys. I think where we see our successes is we have demos here if we can't get them one-on-one. But while I'm here, I'd love to spend some time with all of you, actually. I know Jay's coming down, and we'd like to just meet up. And if you have some clients that you want us to go out and visit with, we'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, so now's the time with Kendall. He's on one of those emails I sent. Maybe he'll follow up connecting with each of you, but we allow him to live in Florida for a few months every year. So so might as well get off to a great start.
How do you guys handle leads?
Generally, we're going to reach out to you first and see if there's a sign shop that you feel really comfortable with. That sometimes morphs into somebody already, or if we know one of your better sign shops in a certain area, we generally sort of qualify the lead with a call from us first, make sure that they're not just kicking tires, and then we just directly connect them with a sign shop or with you and then a sign shop, however you prefer.
Okay.
And one thing we, in terms of speed and efficiency, we're happy to talk about, with end users, kind of ballpark pricing for them, and definitely frame it in the ballpark, because we don't want to restrict margin for anybody. But, a lot of people think these signs are going to cost what a TV in Walmart does nowadays. And so we don't want to waste anybody's time with that. But most qualified leads immediately go to a sign shop and somebody we think they're going to have success with.
Okay.
Hey, Brett, this morning I was talking with Terry, and one of the things he asked me was what really distinguish us against our difference between us and Daktronics or Watchfire. And one of the things I said to him this morning was the biggest thing is we don't sell direct to customers. So that's a big thing that an end user or a sign company really doesn't want us to go in there and sell direct. Daktronics does, and so does Watchfire. So that's one of the big questions you'll get when we're out in the field, or you're out in the field from your sign companies.
And just to back on that, just from a little bit from a positioning point, why is that? Where we feel like is our value is going to be from providing an amazing product and amazing customer service to make EMC sales, installation, and service as smooth as possible for the sign shop. And what we've realized is our job is to support your relationship with your sign shops, you guys as Tube Light Denko. So that's where we feel it works really awesome, because you guys know your customers. We just want to be there to give you whatever you need to do what you do best. So
cool. Well, we're right at 45 minutes, which is my target time for any presentation, unless we're really rocking and rolling. So if you guys have questions, that email chain is open. My cell phone is always open, with the possible exception of this next week, when I'm actually going on a vacation for the first time in also a decade. So you can call me and I probably will answer it, but I might try to show some discipline. Outside of that, we are always available. That's one, we control what we can control in our business, and it's why we've grown and why we have a lot of repeat business. So we are excited to work with y'all, use all our resources and our people and Jay and Kendall right now in your market. If you have any questions, hit us up. Otherwise, I think I'm going to see you on the 15th again.